Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss jaundice and myself Dinesh Dangar. While coming to the jaundice, as you may be knowing that we are studying disorders related to the gastrointestinal tract. In that we have completed PUD, that is peptic ulcer disease, next IBD, that is inflammatory bowel disease. In that specific two conditions like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Today we will move on to the next point into that is jaundice. We are studying it as a part of Gujarat Technological University third semester pathophysiology. So while coming to the definition, what exactly is jaundice? Jaundice એટલે જેને આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કમળો કહીએ છીએ, right? That is jaundice. See here, jaundice is defined as a yellowish discoloration of the skin, sclera and the mucous membranes due to the hyperbilirubinemia and deposition of bile pigments. As here we can note down that the major symptom that can be seen is the yellowish discoloration. Here skin turns yellowish, not only skin, even it involves sclera, that is the part of eye, as well as the mucous membranes. Why? Why it turns into the yellowish color? See, this is because of hyperbilirubinemia. As name indicates, what it is? It is hyperbilirubinemia. Hyper level of the bilirubin can cause hyperbilirubinemia. How it will do, that we will discuss next slides. So here there will be an abnormal deposition of the bile pigments in skin, sclera, the part of eye and the mucous membranes. See here, while coming to the normal amount of the bilirubin, it should not be exceed more than 50 micromolar per liter, right? So not more than 50 micromole per liter. If the amount of bilirubin exceeds then this specific level, it can cause hyperbilirubinemia, and the major sign that is seen with jaundice is yellowish discoloration. While considering jaundice, it is not a type of disease, but we can consider it as a sign, because even jaundice or this specific sign can be observed with hepatitis, right? So it is not a disease but a sign. And see, word indicates that is jaundice. See, in French word, jaune means yellow. For this specific jaune shows that there will be a discoloration of the skin, sclera and mucous membrane, and its color changes from normal individual to yellowish. So it indicates hyperbilirubinemia. While considering the bilirubin, as you can see here, left side it shows the normal individual, next right side it shows the person with jaundice. We can very easily distinguish out between this specific image. Here, while considering the jaundice, it mostly affects liver as well as the biliary tract or the whole biliary tree, as well as the signs and symptoms mostly seen on the skin, eye, that is sclera, and those specific regions where excessive, or we can say that the flow of blood is enriched, that is those mucous membranes. Before going ahead with the jaundice, we need to understand the metabolism of bilirubin. See, bilirubin, from where exactly it is released? As we have already studied the erythropoiesis, or the process which forms red blood cell. In this case, we know the major component which is responsible behind the formation of those erythrocytic cells or the erythrocytes or the matured RBC, that is hemoglobin. Once its lifespan or lifespan is completed, it will get converted into the heme and the globin moiety. Now, that heme in presence of heme oxygenase, it will get converted into the biliverdin. So, remember, heme will get converted into the biliverdin. See, not only heme will get converted into the bilirubin also, it also get converted or it liberates the iron, carbon monoxide and the biliverdin. Here, the major role belongs to that specific enzyme, that is heme oxygenase. Actually, over here, the heme will get catabolized at alpha carbon bridge by an enzyme called as hemooxygenase or the heme oxygenase. Once that biliverdin is formed, now this biliverdin is again acts on the or acted upon by the biliverdin reductase to form unconjugated or unconjugated bilirubin. Now that same unconjugated bilirubin will get converted into the conjugated bilirubin. So here now this bilirubin, see in starting what we had a heme, it was get converted into the biliverdin. Now that biliverdin get converted into the bilirubin, and again those bilirubin will be in a unconjugated form. Once it binds with the glucuronic acid, it forms conjugated bilirubin, and the same conjugated bilirubin will get transported up to the liver. Here it utilizes it bilirubin to form bile juices, and the same bile juices will get transported or it get released into the small intestine, where there will be a specific component, that is urobilinogen. So here that bile forms urobilinogen under the influences of intestinal bacteria. So now that formed urobilinogen will again carried back towards the liver to form unconjugated bilirubin. So it is a kind of cycle. If urobilinogen will not get carried up to the liver, it will be released in fecus in forms of stercobilin. While considering this urobilinogen, even it can be excreted with the help of kidney in form of urinary urobilinogen. So here there are three major target sites. One is liver, next one is kidney, and third one is small intestine, where around this specific cycle goes on. So this is the physiology of bilirubin or the bilirubin metabolism. Now one have a or one can go easily through the jaundice, so that the basic concept behind the jaundice can be easily explained or understood. While considering the signs and the symptoms of or the essence of jaundice, the individuals may have a yellow discoloration of the skin, mucous membrane and the eyes, that is the sclera region. Other than this, light colored stools can be formed. It shows dark colored urine due to the presence of urobilinogen. There will be an itching in the skin due to the deposition of biliverdin. Nausea and vomiting can be seen. It may cause abdominal pain, fever, weakness, loss of appetite, headache and confusion. So these are all the major signs and symptoms that can be observed with jaundice. Okay, now we will discuss epidemiology. See, while considering the prevalences, that is occurrence, it may varies with the age and sex, because it is generally found in newborn babies. Within 1 week of the born, there will be a chance that it forms or it shows bilirubinemia, right? So while considering this specific category, that is the newborn babies, they are more prone to develop it. See, The only reason behind the development of it, that is they may not have a proper hepatic or hepatic biliary function, is still not established. So, it causes higher level of free bilirubin and biliverdin within the lumen or within the blood, and it causes jaundice in newborn babies. Other than newborn babies, we can consider those older patients or the older adults. They may get often affected with jaundice. While considering the 20% of newborns, they develop jaundice into the first week of the life, because they may have a primarily immature or the immaturity of the hepatic conjugation process, because it is not still in a phase where it can recycle or it can go ahead with the that specific released heme. Congenital abnormalities, hemolytic or bilirubin uptake disorders, and conjugation defects are also responsible for jaundice in infancy or during the childhood. Here, while considering hemolytic, that is a part of anemia, as we have studied earlier, anemia. Right? In cases of hemolytic anemia, as word indicate hemolytic, we can see that there will be an increased rate of lysis of red blood cell. It causes to release more and more amount of heme in blood. So, while considering the more amount of heme, actually not blood but in spleen, it causes the higher amount of heme or the specific components like bilirubin and biliverdin, and it can causes hyperbilirubinemia. In cases of viral hepatitis A, it is the most frequent cause of jaundice among the school age children. Nowadays, vaccines are available for viral hepatitis A and B. Common duct stones, alcoholic liver disease, and neoplastic jaundice occur in middle-aged or any older patients. See here, while coming to those common duct stones, it depends on the one or the individual's capacity to restore or to break down the presence of those specific concentrated fluids into the glands or anywhere or in specific cases or those cavities. Here, in many cases, stone can be formed in pancreas, in gallbladder, which can causes more amount of heme or the more amount of bilirubin and biliverdin, causing hyperbilirubinemia. Alcoholic liver disease, that is ALD, or the liver cirrhosis. It is a disease can be seen with the persons with chronic alcoholism. So, they are the ultimate causes for the development of hyperbilirubinemia. Next, while coming to the etiology, actually here etiology is given according to the types of it. So, before going to the etiology, we will go to the types of it. Yes, types of jaundice. Next, we will carry with the etiology. See, in cases of jaundice, it can be of three types, or on the basis of causes, we can divide into the three subtypes. Those three subtypes are prehepatic jaundice, intrahepatic jaundice, or we can call hepatic jaundice, and the post-hepatic jaundice. See, age name indicates here prehepatic jaundice. Next is intrahepatic or during the hepatic jaundice, and the post-hepatic jaundice. In this case, first, while considering the prehepatic jaundice, it is also called as hemolytic jaundice, because it always occurs due to the hemolysis of the blood cells in that specific red blood cell. So, here the major defect over here that can be seen in prehepatic jaundice is the defective plasma membrane of red blood cell. Due to the defect in the plasma membrane, the cell membrane cannot bear the further stress, and further it can leads to release their entire content. So, ultimately cells ruptures resulting into the hemolysis. So, it ultimately causes the increased serum bilirubin level. So here it is arising from the blood before it enters into the liver. So here the serum total bilirubin will be 5 to 17 micromole per liter, or in milligram we can consider 0.3 to 1 milligram per deciliter. While considering the prehepatic jaundice, the major causes can be due to the spherocytosis. So what is that spherocytosis? Actually it is a type of cells, again erythrocytes only, when it becomes sphere shaped rather than biconcave disc shape. બરાબર, અહીંયા શું થાય છે તો કે જે રેડ બ્લડ સેલ છે એ કેવા હોય છે બાયકન્કેવ શેપ, બટ એમાંથી કેવા કન્વર્ટ થશે સ્ફિયર શેપના હોવાના કારણે શું કરશે ઇટ ફર્ધર ઇન્વોલ્વ્સ the hyperbilirubinemia with hemolysis. Next we can consider thalassemia. Even in cases of thalassemia it causes the prehepatic jaundice. It can be seen with the sickle cell anemia. Even it is seen with the deficiency of the pyruvate kinase. It is again can be seen with the erythroblastosis fetalis. So here generally it involves many a kind of hemolytic uremic syndromes, long distance runners, trauma, certain transfusion reactions or due to the blood transfusion, or due to the certain toxins like we can consider snake venom, or due to the infections like malaria. We can consider certain chemical also like nitrites, aniline dyes. We can consider hypophosphatemia, or due to the vitamin B12 deficiency as well as folic acid deficiency. So that is about the prehepatic jaundice. Next one, that is intrahepatic jaundice or the hepatic jaundice. It is due to the disease of liver parenchyma. So here liver is responsible for the development of hepatic jaundice. Here the defect or the defect lies within the liver, and mainly where? In the liver cells like hepatocytes. See, liver captures the specific bilirubin from plasma proteins like albumin, and then after conjugation it exits into the bile via the biliary system. Any pathology of the liver leading to defect in capturing conjugation, see conjugation involves binding of the specific bilirubin with glucuronic acid, and the excretion can cause his hepatic jaundice or hepatic jaundice. See here, so ultimately liver itself is responsible behind the development of hepatic jaundice or the intrahepatic jaundice. The serum total bilirubin level will be between 50 to 350 micromole per liter. See, as we have earlier discussed that the normal level should be ranging between not more than 34.2 micromole per liter or 2 milligram per deciliter. Here it is too much. It ranges between 50 to 350 micromole per liter and between 0.3 to 20 milligram per deciliter. It is almost 10 times the normal value of the bilirubin, causing hyperbilirubinemia. Next, post-hepatic jaundice. In this case of post-hepatic jaundice, the responsible one is the biliary tract, or we can consider other than blood and the liver, where it involves the obstructions in biliary tree or the branches of the biliary pathway. What is biliary pathway? See, the salts or the biliary or the bile will get formed in liver. It further get concentrated into the gallbladder. After that it will be released with the help of pancreatic duct. It aids its secretion into the small intestine. So these specific pathways from liver, from gallbladder and from pancreas, these three openings, and from that side to the up to the duodenum, that will get obstructed or will get blocked, which causes increase in serum total bilirubin. The normal amount of serum total bilirubin that can be observed with post hepatic jaundice, it will be ranging from 100 to 750 micromole per liter and zero 0.6 to 45 milligram per deciliter. So here we can see on the basis of types the severity of jaundice. In cases of prehepatic, it is 5 to 17 micromole. So that is generally seen with the newborn babies. Whereas in cases of intrahepatic, it is 50 to 350 micromole, and in cases of posthepatic, it will be ranging between 100 to 750 micromole. So that is about the types of jaundice. Now we will move on to the etiology. The same thing is mentioned over here. See, in prehepatic, there will be a increased heme liberation due to the hemolysis, due to the breakdown or the rupture of the red blood cell, liberating iron. Next is the carbon monoxide and the bilirubin. So what are the causes behind it? Hemolytic anemia, malaria, and the reduced red cell lifespan. In cases of intrahepatic, there will be a defective liver metabolism, and for that responsible are those hepatocytes or the cells of the liver cells. Obstruction of small bile ducts. So in cases of defects in liver metabolism, responsible one are the congenital enzyme defects due to the enzymes or the deficiency of enzymes, which can causes the conjugation of bilirubin, and it will get converted into the biliverdin. Next is the iron storage diseases and the reduced hepatic bilirubin uptake. In cases of obstruction, we can see it is because of alcoholic cirrhosis, due to the certain autoimmune liver diseases, due to certain drugs and chemicals, hepatic tumors, pregnancy, viral or other infections, and the gallstones, that is stone in gallbladder. So it is not like that stone will be only formed in kidney. No, it can be even seen in gallbladder or in liver or in pancreas. In cases of posthepatic, there will be an obstruction of the large bile ducts, so that bile fluid or the bile juices will not be poured in gastrointestinal tract. So it ultimately causes the absorption, or it interferes with the absorption of food materials from the small intestine and the large intestine. Majorly, or the major role will be in small intestine. It is because of infection or the inflammation of the biliary tree, due to the gallstones, due to the carcinoma or the cancer of pancreas, gallbladder or the bile ducts. Here we can see the pancreatitis, that is the infection of pancreas causing inflammation of it, and due to the certain drugs. Now in etiology we will discuss certain drugs which can cause jaundice. Here the dose dependent hepatocellular damage, it can be done by the acetaminophen, salicylates, and tetracyclines. Generally tetracyclines are used in nervous system related disorders, or sorry, not nervous system related disorder, but they are the antibiotics. See, there is a correction, tetracyclines, it comes under the antibiotics. Next is the acetaminophen and the salicylates, which can be used as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory derivative agents, so which ultimately causes hepatocellular cell damage, or it involves the damage of liver cells. Here dose dependent hepatocellular damage. In this case, dose independent causes, there are certain drugs like disulfiram, isoflurane, sevoflurane, dantrolene, ketoconazole, again ketoconazole, antibiotic that can be used in fungal disorders. Even it includes certain antidepressive agents, antidepressants like TCS. Yes, over here that is TCS, that is tricyclic antidepressants. Next is due to the aminosalicylic acid, isoniazid. Actually, note it's not isoniazid, it's isoniazid. Next is pyrozinamide and the ethambutol, which can be used in treatment of many disorders. Here we can consider hemolysis, and for that further responsible one are methyl dopa and the mefenamic acid. In cases of cholestasis, drugs are used, that is carbimazole and oral contraceptives, which can cause jaundice with chlorpromazine and the chlorpropramide. Okay, so what are the causes of jaundice? So one thing is sure here, that there will be a too much of bilirubin that is being again produced by the liver, and the same cannot be removed from the blood. Because why that increase in bilirubin is seen? Due to the extensive damage to the red blood cells or the extensive hemolytic anemia, which can causes more and more generation of red blood cells, and the large amount of the bilirubin into the blood will be flowed. Second, there might be a defect in the liver that prevents the bilirubin from being removed from the blood. So that is with the help of those carriers like albumin, so it will not get transported to the liver for further conjugation with glucuronic acid, and it won't be secreted in bile. And the third one, that is the blockage of bile ducts, which can cause jaundice. Types, as we already discussed: pre-hepatic jaundice, intrahepatic jaundice, and the post-hepatic jaundice. Okay, the same thing with pathophysiology, or we can call it as etiopathogenesis, cause-based pathogenesis. So here, what are the causes? It can be anemia, any kind of like hemolytic anemia, or the sickle cell anemia, or due to the blood transfusion. Next is due to the certain drugs which can cause is hemolysis like methyl dopa and the oral contraceptives, and due to the hemolytic anemia. Now it can cause to generate more and more or the excess hemolysis of red blood cell, and the rate of destruction of erythrocyte will get increased. It causes the hemolytic anemia or the pre-hepatic jaundice. So here we can call it as hemolytic jaundice or the pre-hepatic jaundice. Now, in many cases, if it is unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, it can cause the jaundice of intrahepatic and the post-hepatic jaundice. And that the important parameter or the syndrome, that is Gilbert syndrome, which can cause jaundice or the icterus. Here, the damaged hepatocytes can cause hyperbilirubinemia, as well as the obstructive or the post-hepatic jaundice can further lead to the icterus due to the conjugated hyperbilirubinemia. Okay. Next is diagnosis. How exactly we can diagnose jaundice? The major symptom over here or the sign, that is the yellow coloration of the skin, eyes, again in eyes the sclera or the white portion into eye, and the those mucous membranes. So here on these specific clues, doctor can confirm that person is suffering from jaundice. Other than this, we can go ahead with the certain liver function test. In that, certain parameters will be checked, like alkaline transferase, next is SGPT, SGOT, right? ALP, that is alkaline phosphatase, can be checked. In cases of hepatitis virus panel, to look for infection, certain hepatitis tests can be performed. Complete blood count can be done to check for a low blood count, or in cases of anemia, if it is arised from the hemolytic anemia. Abdominal ultrasound or the ultrasonography can be done. Abdominal CT scan can be done. The most important one over here, that is the ERCP, that is endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. See, actually it is a combination of X-ray and the endoscopy, where the parts will be visualized with the help of X-ray, and diagnosed with the help of endoscopy. Or we can say that it is a type of test which involves the fluorescence study with endoscopy, right. So this is the most advanced test that can be performed for jaundice. Next, magnetic resonance image scanning can be done. Even liver biopsy test can be performed in cases of ALD, that is alcoholic liver disease, or the liver cirrhosis. So these are all the diagnosis method that can use to evaluate the status of jaundice. While considering the results, one can have a go through the the exact parameters. In cases of total bilirubin, in cases of prehepatic or jaundice, it will be normal, or in other cases it will be increased. In cases of conjugated bilirubin, in prehepatic it is normal, in other cases it will be increased. In cases of unconjugated bilirubin, it will be normal or increased, or in many cases like in hepatic it will be increased. In cases of post hepatic, it will be normal. So we can further go ahead with the urobilinogen, urine color, stool color, alkaline phosphatase levels, alanine transferase and aspartate transferase levels can be performed, and this normal level can be achieved for further contributing toward the hepatitis or jaundice. Okay, the next part, that is the prevention. How one can prevent it, right? In this case, one should recommended, or one should have a recommended daily amount of the alcohol consumption if person is alcoholic. Excessive or chronic administration can cause alcoholic liver disease. One should have a or maintain healthy weight for the height and the building of the body. In many cases, if person is traveling according to the area where exactly they are traveling, or according to the country recommendations, the we can go at like vaccination can be performed, and now vaccines are available for hepatitis A and hepatitis B. In this case, vaccine is not available for the hepatitis C. Okay, the last point, that is the treatment. Here many supportive care will be given, even IV fluids in cases of dehydration will be provided, medications for nausea, vomiting and pain will be provided, or it is required to provide. Antibiotics in cases of infection is used. In cases of antiviral medications such as acyclovir can be used. In cases of viral infection, blood transfusions are needed, then only it can be given or it can be prescribed. While considering the blood transfusions, or it will be recommended in cases of hemolytic anemia or the sickle cell anemia. In cases of autoimmune hepatitis, the steroids and the suppressive agents, that is immunosuppressants, can be used. In cases of chronic hepatitis like hepatitis B and C, interferon can be used. They are the protein products, or the products of which can be manufactured with the help of biotechnology. So they are the biotechnological products. In cases of fulminant hepatitis and the end stage liver failure, the ultimate solution will be the liver transplantation, where a liver will be transplanted. In cases of liver cancer, chemotherapy or the radiation therapy will be prescribed. And in cases of neonatal jaundice, the phototherapy will be used. And this phototherapy is a type of instrument that emits a blue color light on the body of the infant or the newborn baby, so which provides vitamin D, and it can help to retard jaundice. So today we had a discussion on the jaundice, in that specific their types, etiology, causes, pathophysiology, approaches for the treatment, right. So this is all about from my side for jaundice. Thank you very much.